All right, guys, so one of the most common questions we get with high house prices is, would building a house on vacant land save us money? Okay, so let's take this piece of property, for example. We have a gentle slope going up to a wooded area. We don't know exactly what's in that wooded area, but the whole process of developing vacant land is turning question marks into facts. Let's compare the possibility of an already built house to this piece of vacant land. Now, the already built house has a roof, it has a foundation, it has a driveway, it has power, it has sewer or septic, it has water, it has internet, it has all of these things, it has boundary lines established. This piece of vacant land, the challenge for you as the individual looking for the best possible deal for a home for you and your family is we need to turn all of those question marks into facts. Let's start with this. Right there is the road. How much is it going to cost to get approval from the city to put in a road? In this case, and as in most cases, you're going to need a culvert. Sometimes you actually need a bridge, but you never think when you're driving into a house, shopping for houses, I wonder how much it costs to put the driveway in, but it costs money. The next thing you want to know is, what are the setbacks? There are very specific setbacks from the road, from the boundary lines. This is the dicey one. There are setbacks from waterways. Is there a waterway back there? Well, unlikely with this particular topography, but if there is wetlands or if there's a creek, you have very specific setbacks, and we'll walk you through all of those. So what might happen, and what usually happens, is you have a larger piece of property that you end up with what we call a building envelope. You have a very specific footprint somewhere on that property, and oftentimes it's in an awkward location where you wouldn't necessarily want to put your house, that you're limited to building. So now once you've established the building envelope where you can actually build your home, dwellings, and other improvements, then we start looking at how much does it cost to bring in power? How much does it cost to drill a well, or can you hook up to community water? How much does it cost to put a septic system in? Is there sewer? Most of these rural properties, there's certainly not sewer. And what kind of septic system is even available? Then you get into the issue of, where do I put my well in relation to the septic system? Because there are very specific rules about how close your sewer system, your septic system, can be to where you drill your well. There's so many questions, and it's, as my grandfather would say, it's often like asking, how long is a piece of string? How much is it going to cost me to develop this property? You just simply don't know until you start the process. So if you're looking for the cheapest option is almost never the cheapest property. The more expensive a property is, if we're not including waterfront or substantial views, the more expensive a property is, the more likely that a lot of those question marks have been turned into hard, cold facts. So you're able to look at that and say, I know what it's going to cost to bring in a driveway. I know exactly how much it's going to cost to bring in water, or water is already there. Here's the general rule. Once you've established a budget and a timeline, it's going to take substantially longer and substantially more money to build a house. Now, if it sounds like I'm trying to discourage you from building a house, I'm actually not at all. If you're up for it, make sure that you go in with accurate expectations. Our team is expert at connecting with all the people necessary to make this process as simple as possible. But what I don't ever want you to do is walk into the process expecting it to be the easy button when it's in fact the exact opposite. And I certainly don't want you to walk into it thinking that it's the inexpensive option. It might be, but you're basically trading any cost savings, which is unlikely, but any cost saving is going to be earned by you through hard work, hard research, and finding the best deal. And it certainly won't be you getting a good deal if you go shopping for the most amazing dream property, put your heart on that, and then try to do a budget option. It'll take longer with more money. If you want the budget option, we can walk you through the research process that it would take to burn through a whole bunch of potential properties, find out which one is the least expensive for you to develop, find out what the least expensive option is to put a home on it, and then you might actually end up with a home that is less expensive than the purchase price of a similar home. But in most cases, without lots of work, lots of research, lots of coaching, and this is the key one, money spent on developing and researching properties that you have to walk away from. And that's one of the hardest things to swallow. Without those things, you definitely should plan on building a new home being more expensive than buying a pre-built home.